Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you are new. Today we're going to check on the chest freezer that we have. We have a chest freezer out in our garage, and a few months back ago, almost an entire year ago, I organized it and tried to get it in somewhat of an organizable fashion for me and my family. So we're going to see how that's holding up. We're going to inventory both that freezer and my inside freezer. I also do a quick inventory of the pantry, but I didn't get that on camera because I have my kiddos with me, and I was just we were just chasing them around and doing all the things. So we're going to do a quick inventory of all the things and then a final meal prep for the rest of the month. If you've seen some of our other videos, you'll see that I have fallen off both the meal plan wagon. I've fallen off all the wagons, quite honestly. My fitness is going crazy. Meal planning is going nuts. And yeah, so I'm feeling the effects of it. I was also making like a monthly freezer prep. So I wasn't freezing all the meals we were going to do for the month, but I was doing a good portion of it. And that helped on especially stressful or busy days and nights. So I got back, we did a November freezer prep, just a small one, and I will link the video to that both up in the cards and then down below. And I will also link for you the original freezer prep video, or freezer prep, oh my goodness. I will also link the original freezer inventory, not inventory either, good gravy, organization, the original video, if you want to go back and see that. Okay, let's get into this. So excuse my frumpiness here, but I am hanging out at home. So, and it is cold out there. Our freezer is out in our garage, and it is getting colder out here. And so then being in the freezer, yeah, it was just really, really cold. I'm not sure if you got that yet. So I just have a clipboard with a scratch piece paper to the side. That way I don't have to worry about writing neatly. I can just kind of write it really messy at first, and then I will later show you the inventory sheets that I decided to use for this time around. I typically inventory, I can go about on times where I'm not doing it carefully or keeping track about every other month. But sometimes we can stretch to 2 to 3 months if we are keeping on track. And then I'll show you in a second how these bags are working out for me. So some of the stuff I don't have in bags, and the stuff that I do have in bags, I really simply just labeled, and it's been holding up. Some of them have obviously ripped off. You could laminate them and hole punch them, and it would probably last a lot longer. But like for this one, I had it to the side because I didn't have any prepped meals that were pork, but I pulled a couple out, so I'm gonna put them in here using these like the reusable bags from the grocery stores. This one's from Walmart. It's just that thicker type plastic bag that they have that you can purchase from them, or these I think we actually got when we did our pickup order. They've been working great. This one we've had in here, I think my original one, and it's nice and handy as I'm pulling stuff out and putting them back in to keep the chest freezer organized. Then it was time to come inside and tackle the inside freezer. So this is our first time having a side-by-side freezer, and you can see up on top here, I have like my husband's meal prep lunches and then just one of mine. And I did bring in those salmon patties from outside. We were going to have those for dinner that night, so they're just propped in there. But there's kind of just, there's a little bit of organization to it in my head. On that second shelf, there's a tub, and I'll show you that in a second. It makes a little bit of sense, but I just wanted to make sure that nothing had fallen behind or was getting hidden by the things that are like up in the front there. So I'm going to pull out the majority of things. I actually don't need to pull out every single item, but I pull out most of it, and then I'm going to inventory this also. And then I'm going to start pulling out another piece of scratch paper. This is some old meal plans. So this is how I was doing it previously. This time around, I'm only doing for 2 weeks, and so I decided not to do it on these meal plan sheets. But I do have old meal plan sheets, and I keep them in my planner, in the back of my planner there, for ideas and inspirations, especially for times like now, where I feel like I'm in a rut and I can't really have the energy or mindset to plan meal plans, let me know in the comments down below if you know what I mean, where you just get to this point where you're like, I don't even know what to make for dinner and I just can't think of anything else. Like I can't think of anything new to make or anything that I want to make. It's just a rut. We'll get through it. But you see, I opened up to my monthly planner so that I could see if there's any special dates or things like that are happening. So I want to make sure that we're planning around that. Clearly for this month, November, there is Thanksgiving. So I'm going to put that into there. And then I also showed you some inventory sheets that I just printed off of Pinterest. I will link the ones that I ended up using down below. But if you go onto Pinterest and type in freezer inventory or pantry inventory, you can get like 1,000,001 printables that'll be pulled up. Maybe not 1,000,001, but you get the gist. So now on this blank sheet of paper, I am just writing the date. So at the time of filming, it was a Thursday. So I was prepping for Friday onwards, and I will just write Friday and then the date. And then I will put the initials BLD for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Clearly, you don't have to meal plan for all 3 meals. I just found that when I was only meal planning for dinner, I was either running out of food for breakfast and lunch because I wasn't shopping for enough food, or I just was like going through that same rut that I was with dinner, where I couldn't think of any more ideas of what to make for breakfast and lunch. We do homeschool, so we eat all of our meals at home. The majority, I would say like 99% of our meals at home, unless it's a super special day. We are out running errands and we'll grab lunch out or something like that. I'm going to fold the paper in half so that I can put the next week. So I'm just doing about 2 weeks worth of meals on here. And then I also try to meal plan in pencil every time. That way I can erase because there's a lot of moving stuff around when I meal plan. The other thing I wanted to let you know is that when I am meal planning, it doesn't necessarily mean that on this date we are going to stick with that. So what I mean by that is that if I have a dinner down for, say, tomorrow night, but tomorrow night we just don't feel like having that and we'd rather have the dinner that I have down for later the next week, I know that I have all the ingredients for all of these dinners or all of these breakfasts, all of these lunch ideas, so we can swap it around. And when I do that, I will just like cross it off the list that we made that, so I know that we don't have the ingredients for that meal anymore. But this really helps some decision making fatigue. It really helps me when I actually sit down and do it because I know that we have the ingredients for all these meals, but also it gives a good idea to my family of what's coming up. So the kids will lessen how many times they have to ask what's for dinner, what's for breakfast, what's for lunch, because we have meal ideas on there. And it also helps, I think, with the hubby if I need an extra pair of hands in preparing meals, like especially on the weekends, he can know what's coming up and kind of pull out the ingredients or see if we want to cook together. Another thing you might see me doing here is kind of jumping around the page. And that's because if I have a meal, especially a breakfast or lunch idea that we have on, say, Friday, the first day of my meal plan here, I will go ahead and mark that down for the following week, just to give us time in between the same meals. Same thing for the lunches. So if we have, say, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for Monday one week, I will put it down either for the following Monday to have sandwiches again or sometime after that. I won't put it twice in one week if I can avoid it. That way, it just doesn't feel like they're having the same thing every single day for breakfast and lunch. But I do try to keep it pretty consistent. So, for instance, again, Mondays, typically we like to do oats or something like that. For a little while, we were doing Monday Muffin Day just because the alliteration made it fun. And we kind of knew what we were having on that day. The kids knew what to expect, and I knew in my head what to get up and prepare. Or sometimes when I'm really on the ball and I have a breakfast freezer prep done, I knew what to pull out from the freezer the night before, or something like that. here I'm already kind of running out of steam. My brain is fried. The inventory ended up taking me all day because I was stopping and starting, just keeping my kids on track. So it doesn't take that long. It was just one of those days where, my kids needed more attention, and that's fine. I feel incredibly blessed that I can stop what I'm doing and give them that attention that they need. So what I'm doing is going back to my inventory and taking a look at the freezer prepped meals that are already done. So I have just a couple left because we've already been using them throughout. And I'm going to go ahead and drop some of those in for some of these dinners, and just have them. I know they're prepped, ready to roll. We just need to dump them into the Instant Pot or slow cooker. Another thing that you'll see me do later on here is down at the bottom, I'll make some tally marks with either chicken and ground turkey. Chicken and ground turkey are two of our main proteins that we eat. We do eat other food, but those are the main ones that we eat. And so as I'm going through my dinners, say for instance, we're going to have chicken tacos one night, I will mark down how much pounds of chicken I think we're going to need. Typically, we need 2 pounds of protein per meal. So I will mark that down in the tally mark area so that I have that ready to roll and I know that we have enough ground turkey or chicken or whatever protein it is that we need. The other thing that I usually do, but I didn't do in this video just because I didn't have a highlighter around me, I end up circling it with the pencil, is as I'm using the meals, I will circle it so that I know that I intend to use this and I don't count the meals twice, making sure that I have enough to stretch throughout the month. And then that is it. Thanks so much for sticking around with me, checking in on my freezer inventory and just getting all the things set up for the remainder of November. Let me know in the comments down below if you do regular inventory or if you do regular meal planning. I'd also love to know if anybody else meal plans for more meals than just dinner, or if I'm just the only crazy one out here. Thanks again for watching, though. I really appreciate you hanging out with me and doing this. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you check out some of our other videos that we have, maybe consider subscribing if you aren't already and joining our little YouTube family. Thanks again.